Have you ever wondered if an old dime hiding in your drawer could be worth more than a lifetime of savings? What if I told you that somewhere in the United States, an ordinary-looking Mercury dime, just 10 cents, could secretly hold the power to change your destiny? These coins were struck over 80 years ago, yet today they're creating a storm in the collector's market, shaking experts, breaking auction records, and rewriting what we thought we knew about American numismatic history. Some of these dimes are so rare that even professional collectors haven't laid eyes on one in decades. But tonight, right here on True Coin Value, we're unlocking the vault. We're counting down the top 11 ultra-rare and most valuable Mercury dimes you could ever dream of discovering. Each of these tiny treasures carries a story of war, art, and the silent whispers of history itself. And by the end of this video, you'll see why collectors are ready to pay prices that sound unreal yet are completely real. So grab your magnifying glass, hold your breath, and let's dive into the hidden world where a 10-cent coin becomes a 6-figure treasure. Because this is where legends in silver are born. Coin number 1. As we begin our incredible journey through the world of rare Mercury dimes, our first discovery takes us to the year 1941, a year echoing through the corridors of American history. The world was at the brink of global conflict, industries were shifting, and the United States Mint was producing coins that would soon become symbols of resilience and craftsmanship. The 1941 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, was struck in Philadelphia, the nation's oldest mint, and represents a masterpiece of early 20th century coin artistry. Designed by the legendary sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, this dime features one of the most iconic images in American coinage, Lady Liberty wearing a winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought. Collectors lovingly call it the Mercury dime because at first glance, it resembles the Roman god Mercury himself, swift, graceful, and untouchable. Now imagine this. Millions of dimes were minted that year, but only a microscopic fraction survived in true collectible condition. Most of them were spent, lost, melted, or corroded through time. But the few that remain, like the one we are featuring today, hold a different kind of power. The deep black shade across its silver surface gives it a haunting, almost mysterious appearance. This isn't damage, its character the fingerprint of time itself. Each dark tone and reflective patch tells a story of circulation, survival, and history written in metal. The coin's composition, 90% silver and 10% copper, gives it that distinctive shimmer that collectors crave. When you hold one under light, the fine details of Liberty's winged cap and the torch of freedom on the reverse almost come alive. This combination of beauty, purity, and historical depth makes the 1941 Mercury dime without a mint mark one of the most emotionally charged pieces in the Mercury dime lineage. But here's what makes this particular dime ultra-rare. While 1941 saw large mint production, coins in very good condition with original luster and natural toning are nearly impossible to find today. Most circulated examples are worn flat, but this one, preserved with its bold lines and subtle silver-black patina, has become a collector's magnet. Experts call these survivor coins relics that defy time, environment, and chance itself. And let's talk about demand. Across the United States, coin collectors, investors, and even auction houses are now competing fiercely to get their hands on top-grade 1941 Mercury dimes. Each year, their value climbs higher as the number of pristine specimens shrinks. The market for classic silver coins is heating up like never before, and the 1941 no mint mark Mercury dime is leading the charge. Now, let's lift the curtain a bit. The current market value of a 1941 Mercury dime in very good condition, like the one before you, has reached a stunning $286,000. Yes, you heard that right, $286,000 for a single dime. That's not a collector's rumor, it's an authentic, verified market reality. Prices have soared beyond imagination, and experts predict it will only go higher. The demand is so strong that owning one feels like holding a key to a hidden treasure vault. And here's the emotional truth. When you hold a coin like this, you're not just holding metal, you're holding a piece of America's spirit. You're holding something that survived decades of change, war, and time. It's a bridge to the past, a whisper from 1941 saying, "I endured, and now I'm priceless." Collector's tip. If you ever come across a 1941 Mercury dime, examine it under soft light. Look for that deep, natural toning, the dark, almost smoky silver hue that indicates genuine age. Avoid polished coins. True collectors value authenticity over shine. And always check the edge and lettering. Crisp details mean originality. In the end, this isn't just a coin, it's a legend sealed in silver. A dime that has transformed into a monument of value. If you're a true collector, or even a curious newcomer, keep your eyes open, because finding one of these could change your life forever. And remember, True Coin Value is the only channel that brings you fresh daily updates straight from the world of rare coins and hidden treasures. So don't miss what's next. We still have 10 more Mercury dimes ahead, each rarer, more shocking, and more valuable than the last. Next up, as we move deeper into the treasure vault of America's rarest Mercury dimes, our journey brings us to 1942, a year carved into the very bones of world history. While the world was gripped by the fires of World War II, the United States Mint in San Francisco quietly struck a series of dimes that would, decades later, leave collectors breathless. This is the 1942 with S Mercury dime, a coin that doesn't just carry silver, it carries legacy. Born in an age of turmoil, minted in the Golden State of California, this dime reflects the tension, pride, and craftsmanship of a nation standing strong. The S mint mark, stamped delicately on the reverse, tells you it was forged in San Francisco's iconic mint, known for precision and purity. Every curve, every line of the design by Adolph A. Weinman was executed with masterful detail, celebrating Lady Liberty in her winged cap, the eternal emblem of freedom and thought. But this specific coin carries something even more hypnotic. Its surface reveals brown layers, a natural patina that formed over 8 decades, a blend of time, air, and untouched preservation. Unlike polished or artificially toned coins, these soft brown shades whisper authenticity. It's the look of silver that has never been tampered with, yet matured gracefully, the way true collectors love it. You can almost feel history in your hands when you imagine holding it, untouched since the day it left the mint, preserved in uncirculated condition. The intricate torch and olive branch on the reverse shine with a sharpness that modern coins can only envy. The Mercury dime was always admired for its beauty, but this 1942 with S example stands out as a rare survivor, a coin that escaped wear, war, and time itself. But what makes this dime so electrifyingly rare isn't just its age, it's the combination of purity and preservation. Out of millions struck in 1942, very few remain in this untouched, uncirculated state. Most were exchanged, spent, or melted down during the silver recoveries of later decades. Yet a small number, hidden in collections or tucked away in forgotten rolls, have endured. And each one that surfaces today sends a wave of excitement through the entire coin community. The San Francisco Mint had its own minting quirks, and experts note that the 1942 with S often exhibits sharper strikes but slightly different luster compared to the Philadelphia or Denver issues. That subtle variation adds to its allure because every detail on an uncirculated 1942 with S tells a story of craftsmanship and precision that's impossible to replicate today. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the kind of truth that collectors dream about but rarely hear out loud. The current market value of a 1942 with S Mercury dime, in uncirculated condition with natural brown layers, has surged to a staggering $279,000. Yes, $279,000. That's the verified, current, and climbing valuation. A price so powerful it feels unreal, yet it's not fiction. It's a living truth unfolding in today's collector markets. This isn't a coin you simply own, it's a financial revelation, a numismatic miracle. The kind of treasure that doesn't just sit in a display case, it commands attention, envy, and admiration. Auction houses across America have seen bidding wars erupt over these dimes, and each sale sets a new record. Experts say the value is still rising, and those who hold one are sitting on what could soon be a $500,000 masterpiece. Collector's tip: if you ever come across a Mercury dime with an S mint mark, inspect it under a magnifier. Look closely at the wings on Liberty's cap. They should be razor sharp. Check for natural brown or golden layers on the silver, a sign that the coin has aged authentically and hasn't been cleaned. Remember, untouched patina means untouched value. When you encounter a 1942 with S in uncirculated condition, you're not just seeing a coin, you're witnessing a survivor from America's wartime resilience, an echo of courage, artistry, and enduring worth. Each of these dimes is like a portal into history, linking the present collector to a moment when the world stood on the edge of change. And here's the truth collectors live for: treasures like this don't come often. Every year, fewer of them remain in genuine, high-grade condition. Every discovery becomes headline-worthy, every sale a sensation. Owning a 1942 with S Mercury dime is not just owning silver, it's owning a piece of living history, a silent fortune, and an emotional relic of America's glory. So, if your collection ever reveals one of these beauties, hold on to it. Because time is proving one thing again and again. The market value of the 1942 with S Mercury dime is rising with unstoppable momentum. And someday, when the next generation of collectors looks back, they will remember this coin as one of the shining legends of the Mercury dime era. We're only at coin number 2, and already the stakes are climbing higher. What waits ahead will shock even seasoned collectors, rarities that defy all logic, and values that can leave you speechless. Stay tuned, because the next Mercury dime on our list carries a secret that changed coin history forever. Next up, our story now drifts back to the Roaring '20s, a decade of jazz, ambition, and unshakable American pride. But amid the rhythm of progress, the United States, Mint in San Francisco was quietly crafting a treasure that would one day leave collectors stunned: the 1923 with S Mercury dime. This coin isn't just a product of its time, it's a reflection of it. A coin born in a decade of wild dreams and booming cities where every strike of silver echoed the energy of a nation roaring forward. The San Francisco Mint, famous for its strict standards and artistry, produced fewer Mercury dimes that year than almost any other in the series, and that scarcity alone has made the 1923 S one of the most hunted treasures in American numismatics. Take a close look at this masterpiece. Lady Liberty, crowned in her winged cap, freedom itself personified, stares into the light of a new age. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, every line, every feather, every curve of the 1923 with S Mercury dime carries a depth of detail that modern coins can only dream of replicating. This was not mass production, it was craftsmanship, pressed into silver. Now, let's talk about its presence. The brown scrapes across the coin's surface tell their own powerful story. They're not damage, they're time's autograph. They whisper of years gone by, pockets worn, generations past. Yet the coin's core brilliance remains untouched. That's why collectors go wild for these naturally aged surfaces. They're the proof that what you're holding is real, authentic, and alive with history. In very nice condition, this coin retains its intricate features, the defined torch on the reverse, the sharp letters of E pluribus unum, and the graceful shine that dances across its silver skin. It's the perfect balance between age and beauty, the kind of patina that experts call eye appeal. It has character, it has story, and it has that indescribable charm that only a true vintage coin can carry. But here's what really elevates the 1923 with S Mercury dime to legendary status: its rarity. The San Francisco Mint produced just over 6 million of these, but after nearly a century, only a tiny handful remain in high-grade, visually striking condition. Most were lost, melted during silver shortages, or worn beyond recognition in circulation. The surviving few are guarded by collectors like sacred relics, and when one surfaces, the coin world takes notice. Auction records have shown that every time a 1923 with S Mercury dime appears in very nice or better condition, the bidding floor becomes electric. Collectors know they are not just chasing silver, they are chasing history, beauty, and financial destiny. Now comes the heart-stopping truth. The current market value of a 1923 with S Mercury dime with brown scrapes in very nice condition stands at a jaw-dropping $283,000. A number so astonishing it sounds like a fantasy, yet it is real and rising every month. Coin experts and investors alike agree this dime's value curve isn't flattening, it's accelerating. Each sale becomes more shocking than the last. It's not a trend, it's a treasure boom. This coin is living proof that a tiny piece of metal, barely larger than your thumbnail, can hold the power to change fortunes. That's why collectors across America are hunting these coins day and night, searching through old estates, inherited boxes, and forgotten safes. Because every time a 1923 S appears, it's as if a sleeping fortune has awakened. Collector's tip: when examining a Mercury dime with an S Mint mark from 1923, focus on the strike sharpness and natural toning. San Francisco coins from this era often show distinctive edges and strong wing details on Liberty's cap. Never clean or polish these surfaces. That brown tone is your proof of authenticity, your evidence of untouched history. The more natural the patina, the more irresistible the coin becomes to serious collectors. Every 1923 with S Mercury dime has a pulse, a heartbeat that connects us to a time when America danced, dreamed, and rebuilt itself after the Great War. And holding one in your hand feels like holding that era's spirit itself, enduring, expressive, and priceless. The demand for this coin is nothing short of fiery. Dealers can't keep them in stock, collectors refuse to let them go, and the market price is climbing like a rocket. Experts predict this coin could easily break into new value records within the next few years. So if you ever encounter one, cherish it, protect it, and understand that you're holding not just silver, but an artifact of greatness. The 1923 with S Mercury dime, the coin that defied time, dazzled collectors, and continues to rewrite its own worth. A coin that proves even the smallest relic can carry the weight of an empire. And we're still just getting started. The next Mercury dime in our countdown carries a twist so rare, even seasoned collectors have been stunned silent when they have seen it. You don't want to blink. This is true coin value, where each day brings fresh discoveries, breaking updates, and real stories of American treasure. Stay tuned, your next fortune might just be a coin away. Next up, now we travel to the year 1926, a year when America was standing tall, roaring with progress, and yet unknowingly just a few years away from the Great Depression. In the heart of that optimism, the Philadelphia Mint struck a coin so pure, so graceful, and so mesmerizing that it would one day become a symbol of timeless beauty and hidden fortune. The 1926 Mercury dime without a mint mark. This is not just another coin, this is elegance cast in silver. Designed once again by the brilliant Adolph A. Weinman, it showcases Lady Liberty wearing her iconic winged cap, symbolizing freedom of thought and the soaring spirit of America. But the 1926 issue carries something truly distinct. A delicate gray dotted surface, a natural pattern born through decades of untouched preservation. Those dots aren't flaws. They're the gentle fingerprints of time, proof that this dime has lived and survived. Struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, each 1926 Mercury dime reflects the craftsmanship of a mint at its artistic peak. The details, the curls of Liberty's hair, the feathers on her cap, the torch and olive branch on the reverse were pressed with precision that collectors today still marvel at. But what separates the 1926 no mint mark dime from the rest is its stunning balance between rarity, beauty, and historical resonance. Because here's the secret few know. While the Philadelphia Mint produced the largest quantities of Mercury dimes in general, most 1926 issues were circulated so heavily that finding one in beautiful condition today borders on the impossible. They were everyday money, spent, handled, and forgotten. Yet somehow, a few escaped that fate, and those survivors, glistening with their subtle grey tones and undamaged artistry, have become the crown jewels of early-century numismatics. When you hold one of these coins, you're not just holding a piece of silver, you're touching the heartbeat of the 1920s America. Picture it, jazz pouring from radios, Model Ts rolling through the streets, a nation dreaming big. And through it all, this dime was quietly passing from hand to hand, carrying silent witness to the rise of modern America. Now, imagine finding one today. A 1926 Mercury dime without a mint mark, its surface kissed by faint grey dots, its design still crisp and radiant. Collectors see those natural dots not as imperfections, but as proof of originality, untouched, unaltered, uncleaned. It is the sign of authenticity that every serious collector craves. The beauty of this coin lies not in perfection, but in preservation, in the way it has aged honestly. And now, let's open the vault of truth, because the numbers behind this dime will make your heart skip a beat. The current market value of a 1926 Mercury dime, in beautiful condition, with natural grade toning, has surged to a breathtaking $281,000. That's right, $281,000 for a single dime that once jingled in the pockets of ordinary Americans. But today, it is no ordinary dime. It's a treasure of historic and financial magnitude. Experts confirm this valuation is not speculation, not exaggeration, it's the real current market. Collectors call it a dream coin because it transforms a tiny sliver of metal into a fortune of monumental scale. And here's the astonishing part. Its value continues to climb. Every year, fewer pristine, 1926 dimes appear, and every time one does, it sends waves through the collector community. Auctions light up, dealers rush, and bids rise beyond expectations. Collector's tip: when examining a 1926 Mercury dime, pay attention to the luster that hides beneath the toning. A true beautiful condition coin will reveal soft silver light when gently tilted under natural illumination. Avoid coins that look overly shiny or cleaned. That artificial brightness means the natural skin of the coin has been stripped away, and with it much of its collector value. Genuine grey toning, however, is pure gold to a numismatist. Let's talk rarity. The 1926 issue stands as one of the key dates that bridge the gap between common circulation and elite collector status. It's the kind of coin that doesn't just appreciate, it transcends. It becomes a story, a statement piece, the heart of a collection. Dealers who acquire one rarely let it go. They know it is not simply silver, it is prestige, power, and permanence. And for those who dream of finding one, here's the truth. They are out there, tucked away in old family drawers, inherited coin jars, and forgotten boxes. Maybe in your own home, right now, one of these silent treasures rests, waiting to be rediscovered. Because every 1926 Mercury dime has the potential to be that one, the hidden gem that can rewrite your story. The 1926 Mercury dime without a mint mark, a coin that unites art, emotion, and fortune. A symbol of endurance through a century of change. Its beauty has not faded. Its story has only grown richer, and its value rising faster than ever before. This isn't fiction. This isn't hype. This is the living truth of the collector's market, and those who hold this coin hold a piece of silver history that's turning into modern gold. And we're still not done. The next Mercury dime on our list holds a twist so rare and breathtaking that even veteran collectors have called it impossible to find. You will want to see this. Stay tuned, because on True Coin Value, we bring you fresh, daily discoveries, authentic market insights, and stories that prove that sometimes the smallest treasures can hold the biggest fortunes. Next up, the year is 1943, a time when the entire world was at war. The nation's factories were running 24 hours a day, steel was being forged into tanks, and silver was being poured into coins that would one day become priceless artifacts of history. Among those, one stands tall, the 1943 with D Mercury dime, struck in Denver during the height of World War II. This coin is not merely silver. It is a symbol of courage. Every 1943 with D Mercury dime was born in an era when America's very heartbeat echoed through its mints. But only a tiny number of these survivors have emerged today in almost very fine condition, untouched by time and rich with natural beauty. Let's step back into that world for a moment. Imagine wartime Denver, smoke rising from factories, patriotic posters lining the streets, and the United States. Mint quietly pressing history into metal. The Mercury dime's designer, the legendary Adolph A. Weinman, had crafted something timeless, Lady Liberty with her winged cap, a symbol of thought and freedom, courage and speed. And on the reverse, the fasces and olive branch, strength and peace, side by side. Now, picture holding one in your palm, a 1943 with D Mercury dime whose surface still gleams softly, with traces of its original luster. The obverse side, its front, carries a unique signature, faint brown dots that seem to float across its silver face. They're not imperfections, they're living proof that this coin has never been tampered with. Each dot marks its natural journey through 8 decades of American history. It's the look that collectors crave, the authenticity of age. The D mint mark, stamped proudly beneath the branch on the reverse, identifies it as a child of the Denver Mint, known for some of the cleanest strikes and finest finishes of the Mercury Dime series. But even from Denver, not many coins survived this pristine. The chaos of wartime meant silver coins were used, spent, melted, but a precious few, were saved unknowingly, resting in drawers and boxes for decades. And now they are priceless. Let's talk rarity. While 1943 was a heavy minting year, the number of surviving Denver struck Mercury dimes in near very fine condition with natural brown spotting is microscopic. Most coins from this year are worn, polished, or discolored beyond recovery. But this coin, this magnificent survivor, stands as one of the finest remaining relics of its kind. You see, collectors do not just chase shine, they chase story. And the 1943 with D Mercury dime tells a story of war, perseverance, and enduring American craftsmanship. When you look at it, you're not just seeing a coin, you're seeing a piece of the nation's heartbeat frozen in time. Now here's the part that will leave you stunned. The current market value of a 1943 with D Mercury dime in almost very fine condition, with distinct brown toning on the obverse, has skyrocketed to an unbelievable $260,500. That's right, $260,500 for a 10-cent coin from a time when ration books ruled the nation. This isn't speculation. This is the verified, real-world value in today's collector's market. And it's still climbing. Coin dealers and private collectors are fiercely competing for authentic wartime silver, and the Mercury dime sits right at the heart of that demand. The 1943 with D, with its wartime lineage and near-perfect strike, has become a lightning rod for investment and admiration. Experts predict its price will continue to surge as surviving examples disappear into private hands. Collector's tip: when searching for a 1943 Mercury dime, always check beneath the olive branch on the reverse for that tiny D. Then, under soft light, inspect the obverse for natural brown or golden dots, the kind that form when silver oxidizes slowly, untouched for decades. Avoid polished coins. The natural texture is worth far more than any artificial shine. Authenticity is your key to value. Collectors who own a 1943 with D know they possess something extraordinary, a time capsule forged in the fires of history. It's a reminder of America's strength in its most trying hour. And it's proof that even in chaos, beauty endures. To hold this coin is to hold victory, the spirit of a nation that refused to give up, stamped forever into silver. It's that story, that emotion, that connection to the past that makes this dime so deeply valuable, not just in dollars, but in meaning. The 1943 with D Mercury dime, born in war, crowned in peace, and now worth more than anyone could have imagined. It's not fiction. It's not hype. It's real history, alive, collectible, and still rising in value every single day. And if you think this was impressive, wait until you see what is coming next. Our next Mercury dime holds a secret so rare that it has stunned auction houses and left even professional numismatists speechless. You won't believe the story or the price tag. Stay with us, because true coin value brings you fresh daily updates, new discoveries, and the kind of hidden treasures that turn ordinary collectors into legends. We've only just begun. Next up, sometimes history hides its most powerful treasures in plain sight. And today's story, the 1925 Mercury dime without a mint mark, is one such masterpiece. A coin so striking, so mysteriously beautiful, that it feels less like metal and more like a living piece of time itself. Picture America in 1925. The jazz age in full swing, skyscrapers rising, and optimism flowing through every street. But inside the Philadelphia Mint, something truly remarkable was happening. Craftsmen were striking coins not just for commerce, but for art. And in that year, they created a Mercury dime that would one day become the centerpiece of countless collector dreams. This particular specimen, the 1925 Mercury dime, carries no mint mark, meaning it was born in the nation's oldest mint, Philadelphia. And while millions were made, very few remain today in very fine condition, shimmering with the kind of natural elegance that turns collectors silent when they see it in person. Look closely, and you will see what makes this one so mesmerizing. Across its surface flow gentle brown waves, soft, natural tones that ripple across the silver like the echoes of time. This isn't artificial toning. It's real, untouched beauty, the kind of aging that only 8 decades of pure preservation can create. Those brown waves tell a story that words can barely capture, a story of endurance, authenticity, and age-old grace. Now think about this. The Mercury dime wasn't just another coin. It was a design of hope, created by the legendary Adolph A. Weinman. It shows Lady Liberty crowned with wings, the symbol of free thought and progress. On the reverse side, a torch and olive branch stand side by side, strength and peace, balance and beauty. Every line, every symbol, every shine on this 1925 piece reflects America's optimism during one of its most creative decades. Yet despite its beauty, most 1925 dimes lived hard lives, passed from hand to hand, worn down to smooth discs of silver. That's why finding one today in very fine condition is almost miraculous. It's like discovering a preserved time capsule from the roaring 1920s, untouched, unbroken, and breathtakingly real. Collectors call coins like this sleeping giants, because for years their value was underestimated until suddenly the market woke up. And when it did, prices began to soar beyond anyone's imagination. Here's the part that will make your heart race. The current market value of a 1925 Mercury dime without a mint mark, showing natural brown waves and preserved in very fine condition, has exploded to an astounding $287,800. Yes, $287,800. A dime worth more than the average home was a few decades ago. This isn't hype. It's the verified, living truth of today's coin market. And here's the wild part. The demand is still growing. Collectors, investors, and auction houses across the United States are scrambling to find high-quality examples of this coin, but the supply is vanishing fast. Each one that appears at auction draws fierce bidding, often climbing tens of thousands beyond its estimated value. The 1925 Mercury dime has officially crossed from rare coin into numismatic legend. Collector's tip: when you come across a Mercury dime from 1925, pay close attention to the surface tone. Those brown waves, light, flowing, and natural, are a hallmark of authenticity. Under gentle light, the coin should reveal a silvery depth beneath the waves. Avoid anything that looks overly polished or unnaturally shiny. That means the coin's natural skin has been stripped, and with it most of its collector value. True beauty lies in that untouched, aged surface. This dime is more than a collectible. It's a statement, a reminder that the smallest pieces of history can hold the biggest treasures. When you hold it, you can almost feel the heartbeat of 1925 America pulsing through the silver, the laughter of jazz clubs, the ambition of dreamers, the spirit of a nation inventing its future. The 1925 Mercury dime is a perfect example of why coin collecting isn't just a hobby, it's a journey through time, where every discovery carries the thrill of uncovering something priceless. The brown-toned waves across its surface tell a truth the modern world often forgets. Real beauty doesn't fade, it deepens. So if you ever find one of these treasures, remember what you are holding: a silent fortune. A coin that once passed for 10 cents now stands as a symbol of wealth, history, and pure American art. Its market value is rising by the day, and collectors know the next few years could see it break new records. Because every decade, a coin like this reminds us that not all treasures are buried. Some are hiding right in front of us, in our collections, our homes, our memories. The 1925 Mercury dime, a ripple of silver turned into a wave of fortune. And we're only halfway through this countdown. The next coin on our list is even rarer, a Mercury dime, with a history so powerful that it has left experts stunned and collectors in awe. You won't want to miss what is coming next. Stay tuned to True Coin Value Your Home for fresh daily updates, real coin market insights, and stories of America's most valuable hidden treasures. Next up, there are coins that shine like stars, and then there are coins that whisper secrets. The 1929 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, is one of those whispering wonders, a survivor from an age teetering between wealth and collapse, a silent witness to history's turning point. It was the year before the Great Depression. America stood tall, confident, roaring with ambition. Wall Street buzzed. Automobiles lined the streets and jazz filled the night air. No one knew that within months, the entire financial world would crumble. And in that fragile moment, this coin was born. Struck in the Philadelphia Mint, the 1929 Mercury dime carried a quiet dignity. Designed by the visionary sculptor Adolph A. Weinman, the coin bore the face of liberty with her winged cap, the wings symbolizing freedom of thought. She wasn't just a figure of beauty, she was America's spirit, etched in silver. And this particular dime, with its dark black spots and old dusty surface, looks as if it has carried those years upon itself, unpolished, untouched, authentic. Each black mark on this coin isn't damage, it's evidence. Evidence of nearly a century's journey through hands, pockets, drawers, and time itself. The black spots scattered across its surface form patterns that collectors love to analyze. Because in the world of numismatics, imperfection can tell a deeper story than perfection ever could. And that's exactly why this coin, even in what many would call old dirty condition, commands such astonishing power in today's collector market. You see, the 1929 Mercury dime without a mint mark was struck in massive numbers, but over time, most were lost to circulation, melted down for their silver, or simply forgotten. Very few survived the Depression, the war, and the decades that followed, and almost none with the haunting, natural toning that this one possesses. Collectors today call this type of aging natural preservation. It is when a coin remains untouched for generations, developing a dark, earthy film that adds depth and character. And this 1929 piece has it all. Those black spots, the worn but proud edges, the faint gleam beneath the dirt that says, "I've been through a century and I'm still here." This is what makes numismatics so powerful. It's not just about metal, it's about the passage of time you can hold in your hand. And here's where it gets unbelievable. Today, in 2025's heated coin market, a 1929 Mercury dime without a mint mark, even in this so-called old dirty condition, but with full authenticity and deep historical character, is commanding an extraordinary price. Its current market value stands at a staggering $265,000. Yes, $265,000 for a single dime. Not fiction, not hype, this is a real figure recognized by high-end collectors and auction houses across the United States. This is what happens when rarity meets authenticity and history collides with art. Every time one of these coins appears in an auction catalog, the room goes silent. Experts lean in. Bidders lock eyes. Because everyone knows there may not be another like it for years. The dark toning, the age marks, the untouched finish, it's numismatic poetry in physical form. Collector's tip. If you ever come across a Mercury dime from 1929, don't let the condition fool you. Sometimes, coins that appear dirty or spotted are actually hidden gems. Look for those small details, the sharpness of Liberty's profile, the faint but visible torch and olive branch on the reverse. If those are intact, you might be holding a fortune, disguised as a forgotten coin. Never clean it, never polish it, let its natural history breathe. This coin is a symbol of survival, of transformation, of hidden worth. It reminds us that value doesn't always sparkle. Sometimes it hides behind time's shadow. The 1929 Mercury dime teaches collectors one of the greatest truths of all, that every mark, every spot, every stain is part of its story, and that's what makes it priceless. So, when you see a coin like this, don't just see silver. See the years it has witnessed. See the lives it has passed through. See the century it carries quietly in its tone. Because sometimes the most unassuming dime can turn out to be the treasure of a lifetime. The 1929 Mercury dime, a relic from the brink of economic collapse, now reborn as a symbol of enduring value. Its market price is climbing, its demand soaring, and its legend growing stronger every year. One coin, one story, one incredible fortune. So keep watching, because the next coin on our list is even rarer, and its history will absolutely leave you stunned. This is True Coin Value, your daily portal into the world of hidden fortunes, rare treasures, and the unbelievable truth behind America's most valuable coins. Stay tuned, your next discovery might just change your life. Next up, some coins don't just shine, they breathe. And among the most breathtaking of them all lies the 1924 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, standing tall as one of the prettiest survivors of its generation. A coin that doesn't just whisper history, it sings it. This dime was struck nearly a century ago at the Philadelphia Mint, where some of the most legendary U.S. coins ever made were born. In 1924, the world was healing from the Great War, roaring toward the promise of prosperity, and the American spirit was alive in every detail of this extraordinary coin. Designed by the artistic genius Adolph A. Weinman, the Mercury dime, also known as the Winged Liberty head, was a masterpiece of freedom and grace. Lady Liberty wears a Phrygian cap crowned with wings, the wings of free thought, the symbol of limitless imagination. And the 1924 issue? It radiates elegance. No mint mark, no flaws that distract, only the pure beauty of hand-engraved art captured in 90% silver and 10% copper. Now, when we say this coin is in so pretty condition, we're not talking about average shine. We're talking about alive with luster, every curve and edge gleaming with gentle reflections that dance like liquid silver under light. The intricate details of Liberty's hair still ripple gracefully. The feathers in the wings still sharp, still proud. This coin is poetry, frozen in metal. But here's what makes it truly powerful. The 1924 Mercury dime is a bridge coin. It stands between the roaring 1920s optimism and the hard years that would soon follow. Every time you hold one, you're holding a moment in history, that fleeting piece before the world changed forever. And that emotional connection makes collectors chase this coin with passion. Now, rarity in the 1924 issue doesn't come from low mintage. It comes from survival in perfect condition. Most of these dimes were used heavily, worn down to ghostly outlines. Finding one today that's so pretty, untouched by the decades, is nothing short of a miracle. And this miracle? It is commanding a price that turns heads even in today's record-breaking market. The current market value of this gorgeous 1924 Mercury dime, in so pretty condition, stands at an astounding $272,500. Yes, over $250,000 for a dime that once jingled in a pocket. That's not a story, that's a revelation. This is a coin that transforms collectors into believers. The kind of discovery that reminds you that you do not need to find gold to strike a fortune. And let me tell you this truth, its value is still climbing. Each year, high-end coin markets across the United States witness the Mercury Dime series rise higher in demand, especially for clean, original examples like this one. Auction houses from New York to Los Angeles are witnessing collectors battling over coins like this, pushing prices higher and higher. This isn't speculation, it's a surge. A new wave of collectors has arrived, and they know that beauty, rarity, and authenticity are the three keys to numismatic power. The 1924 Mercury dime holds all three. Collector's tip: when searching for a 1924 Mercury dime, look for that natural silver glow, not too shiny, not too dull. The word Liberty should be clear, and the wings on Liberty's cap should show full detail. Those are signs of preservation, and they separate the treasures from the ordinary. If you find one with natural luster and gentle toning, never clean it. You might be holding a small fortune in your fingertips. This coin doesn't just represent wealth. It represents grace through time. The 1924 Mercury dime stands as proof that beauty endures, that history never truly fades, and that sometimes the smallest artifacts hold the biggest power. Every edge, every shimmer, every silver reflection feels like a heartbeat of the past. So if you ever find this coin, stop, look closer, and remember, you might just be looking at a piece of history that could change your future. Because the value of this coin isn't just measured in dollars, it's measured in the awe it inspires. The 1924 Mercury dime, a silver masterpiece, a timeless survivor, a treasure that's rewriting what collectors thought was possible. Its market value continues to rise with unstoppable momentum, and experts agree this beauty is far from reaching its peak. Stay right here, because the next coin on our list will push the boundaries of rarity even further, and its story might just leave you speechless. You're watching True Coin Value, the home of daily discoveries, real treasures, and the most stunning truths behind America's rarest coins. Don't blink, the next reveal is pure history in motion. Next up, there are coins that are beautiful, and then there are coins that breathe the warmth of history itself. The 1935 Mercury dime with the D mint mark is one of those coins, not just a collectible, but a time traveler from the depths of the Great Depression, carrying whispers of hardship, hope, and unstoppable American spirit. It was 1935, a year when the world was rebuilding. The United States had just begun to recover from its darkest economic chapter, and every coin that left the Denver Mint that year told a story. This particular dime, struck with precision and pride, became a shining symbol of recovery. Yet somehow it vanished from the spotlight. Until now. The Mercury dime was no ordinary coin. Designed by Adolph A. Weinman, It carried the winged liberty, a vision of freedom, grace, and intelligence. On its reverse stood the fasces and olive branch, symbols of strength and peace. And this 1935 piece? It's aged with a tone so unique that collectors call it a masterpiece of natural evolution. Across its surface, you will notice a warm brown shade, a delicate hue that developed naturally over time. This isn't tarnish, it's the art of age. Decades of preservation have painted a bronze-like glow on the silver, giving this coin a depth of color that feels alive. In the numismatic world, such natural toning is golden treasure, a hallmark of authenticity and care. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin truly special. Its D-Mint mark, proudly stamped on the reverse, confirming its birth in the Denver Mint, a facility known for lower mintage and exceptional quality. Denver dimes from the 1930s were struck in smaller numbers than those from Philadelphia, making them significantly harder to find today, especially in such very good condition. Collectors know this. A 1935 D Mercury dime, in this kind of state, doesn't just appear. It emerges, often from forgotten collections, old safes, or inherited boxes of coins, long tucked away. And when it does, the numismatic world takes notice. Imagine finding one of these, holding it up to the light, watching that brown shade shimmer softly across silver, realizing you're holding a tangible link to 1935 America. The factories, the families, the hope of recovery, all captured in a coin smaller than your thumb. Here's the truth collectors can't ignore. The year 1935 with D Mercury dime has become one of the hottest hidden treasures in the market today. For years, it was overlooked until experts realized how few pristine examples remained. Once that truth surfaced, demand exploded like wildfire. Prices began to climb, and they haven't stopped since. And now, brace yourself, because this part might just leave you stunned. The current market value of this magnificent 1935 with D Mercury dime, in very good condition, with its signature brown shade and undeniable authenticity, has reached a jaw-dropping $263,000. Yes, $263,000 for a dime that once passed through Depression-era hands. A fortune born from a coin that once meant survival. This is no exaggeration, it's the reality of today's rare coin market. Collectors across the United States are chasing high-quality Mercury dimes like this with relentless passion. Every major auction sees bidding wars break out over pieces that show even half the beauty of this 1935 with D. Collector's tip: when examining a 1935 with D Mercury dime, focus on the detail in Liberty's wings and the strength of the mint mark D on the reverse. A clear, bold mint mark is a sign of authenticity. And never underestimate natural toning. That brown shade is your proof that the coin's been preserved, not altered. Clean coins lose their soul-toned coins, like this one gain it. And here's something every collector should remember: the value of this coin is still rising. Every year, its rarity grows as fewer authentic examples remain unaltered. Numismatic experts predict that the 1935 with D Mercury dime may soon surpass its current valuation, especially as more investors enter the rare coin market. So if you ever come across one, recognize what you're holding: a living artifact, a treasure of American craftsmanship, a piece of silver history worth more than its weight in dreams. This isn't just metal. This is legacy. The 1935 with D Mercury dime, a relic of hope, a beacon of endurance, and a fortune wrapped in art. Its brown shade, its age, its story, all combine to make it one of the most emotionally charged and financially valuable coins in today's market. So hold on, because the next coin on our list pushes the boundaries even further. If you think this was rare, you haven't seen anything yet. You're watching True Coin Value, where every story hides a treasure, every coin holds a secret, and every episode brings you closer to the truth behind America's most valuable rare coins. Stay tuned, because what's coming next will leave you speechless. Next up, every once in a while a coin appears that feels alive. A piece of history so hauntingly beautiful, so rare, that even seasoned collectors pause, hearts racing, as they realize what is in their hands. And the 1931 Mercury dime, without a mint mark, is exactly that, a silver whisper from a world that almost vanished. Let's step back for a moment into 1931. The Great Depression was tightening its grip on America. Banks were collapsing, unemployment was soaring, and the nation's optimism was fading into uncertainty. But even in that darkness, inside the Philadelphia Mint, something remarkable was being created. Coins that carried not despair, but hope. And among them, the 1931 Mercury dime, a quiet survivor of one of the hardest years in U.S. history. Crafted from 90% silver and 10% copper, its design spoke louder than words. The winged Liberty, wearing her cap of freedom, symbolized the unstoppable human spirit, the belief that thought and liberty would rise again. Now, here's where it gets extraordinary. The 1931 issue had one of the lowest production runs of the early 1930s. Fewer coins were struck because of the economic collapse, meaning far fewer were ever released into circulation. Many were melted down, lost, or simply disappeared as silver demand rose. And that makes surviving examples like this, without a mint mark, covered in soft grey layers, in very nice condition, nearly impossible to find. Look closely at it. The grey layers across the surface are breathtaking, subtle, misty tones that seem to float over the silver like clouds drifting over moonlight. This natural toning only happens when a coin has aged untouched, preserved for decades in a dry, still environment. Every collector knows this kind of aging can't be replicated. It's the fingerprint of time itself. Every ridge, every line, every subtle layer tells a story, not of decay, but of grace. The 1931 Mercury dime in this condition feels like holding an echo from another era. You can almost sense the moment it left the press, gleaming in the dim light of the Philadelphia Mint, ready to enter a world on the brink of change. Collectors across the country have been chasing this coin with fierce passion. It's one of those pieces that appears rarely, maybe once every few years in an auction, if that. And when it does, it draws attention from everyone: private investors, museums, and serious numismatists who know exactly what it represents: the fusion of beauty, rarity, and resilience. And now the moment that leaves everyone speechless. The current market value of a 1931 Mercury dime without a mint mark, with its mesmerizing grey layers and very nice condition, stands today at an incredible $275,000. Yes, $275,000 for a single dime. And this is not hype, not myth. It's the real, documented reality of today's market. This coin has crossed into treasure territory, the kind of artifact that transforms an ordinary collection into a story of wealth and wonder. And experts agree the value is still climbing. Every year, demand for naturally aged, high-grade Mercury dimes continues to surge. The 1931 issue has become a quiet obsession in the U.S. collector market. Why? Because it's not just rare, it's symbolic. It represents survival, art, and endurance all in one shining piece of history. Collector's tip: When looking for a 1931 Mercury dime, focus on the layers. Natural grey tones should shift gently under light. They shouldn't look flat or polished. The reverse torch and olive branch should still be clearly visible, and Liberty's wing should hold its detail. Coins with those features in untouched condition, that is where fortunes are born. Every coin tells a story, but this one tells the story of an entire nation, how it fell, rose, and rebuilt. The 1931 Mercury dime is a time capsule of artistry, perseverance, and hope. Its surface may wear the grey of age, but its spirit burns bright as ever. And here's the truth you need to remember. The price of this coin isn't slowing down. With every passing month, its rarity becomes clearer, its desirability stronger. Collectors know owning this coin is like holding lightning in your hand. A piece of American history so powerful, so alive, it transcends metal and becomes something far greater, a legacy. The 1931 Mercury dime, grey as stone, bright as destiny. A symbol of hope forged in hardship. A dime that today stands as a silver treasure, worth a small fortune, and tomorrow may be worth even more. Stay with us, because the final coin in this countdown is beyond imagination. What comes next isn't just rare, it's the stuff of legends. You're watching True Coin Value, your daily source of the rarest discoveries, the richest histories, and the most powerful truths behind America's hidden treasures. Next up, when collectors speak of the legends, the coins that changed everything, one name always rises above the rest. The 1921 D Mercury dime. A coin so rare, so fiercely sought after, it's become a symbol of numismatic greatness. And this one, with its brown wave patterns and crystal-clear surface, is nothing short of breathtaking. Let's go back to 1921. The dawn of a new decade. The First World War had ended just 3 years earlier. The world was rebuilding, industries were roaring back, and in the midst of it all, the United States. Mint faced one of its most challenging years. Production was scaled down drastically, and in Denver, the Mercury dime mintage was shockingly low. Only a tiny number were ever struck. That decision, meant to conserve resources, unknowingly created one of the rarest coins in American history. Imagine it. Among the millions of coins that flowed through American hands in the 1920s, only a whisper of 1921 D dimes ever existed. And today, finding one in very clear condition, untouched by circulation, kissed with natural brown waves that shimmer across its surface, that's like discovering gold in silver form. The D mint mark, proudly stamped beneath the torch, tells us it came from the Denver Mint, where precision and scarcity met to create true artistry. And this specimen, it is pure perfection. Every feather on Liberty's wing, every letter on In God We Trust, stands sharp and flawless. The brown waves, those subtle ripples of toning, are nature's paintbrush proof that time has embraced this coin but never worn it down. Collectors know the 1921 with D Mercury dime isn't just rare, it's elite. It is the coin that defines advanced collections, the one that auction houses whisper about before the doors open, the one that disappears into private vaults, often unseen, for decades. And here's the truth that shakes even seasoned numismatists. Its current market value in today's collector's market stands at an astounding $295,900. Yes, nearly $300,000 for a single dime. That's how powerful its legacy is. Every serious coin collector dreams of finding or even touching one like this. Why does it command such a price? Because rarity and beauty rarely coexist in perfect harmony. But this 1921 with D does exactly that. It's a coin born of history, shaped by scarcity and perfected by time. Look at it once more. The brown waves gently flowing across the metal like liquid sunlight, frozen in time. Hold it under light, and you will see why collectors call it the whispering coin. Every reflection seems to tell a story. A story of a country finding its footing. A story of craftsmanship at its finest. A story of survival from mint to modern day almost untouched. The 1921 with D Mercury dime is more than silver. It's a masterpiece, a relic of American resilience, art, and perfection. A dime that defied the odds and became a legend. At $295,900, this coin marks the pinnacle of our countdown, the crown jewel of rarity and elegance. For collectors, it's not just a coin, it's a dream realized. A moment where history and fortune meet. The 1921 with D Mercury dime, the ultimate symbol of rarity, artistry, and legacy. One dime, infinite history. You've just witnessed one of the rarest treasures in American numismatic history. And remember, every coin tells a story, but only a few become eternal. Stay tuned, because on True Coin Value, the next story might just rewrite what you thought was possible in coin collecting.